Hey, thanks for being with me. Finally getting off work for the week, so another roadside rambling. For starters, I'll be doing a live stream minutes after I get home, once I set up my equipment and everything, so it's just a little teaser for what's to come. I think I'm going to focus my live stream less on COVID this week and more on the revelations we see of the corruption of the FBI and the Obama administration being exposed. So, but yeah, what I wanted to focus on in this video is a lot of people, again, I'll make that case. I've done it for months now, proving the corruption of the Obama administration, what I've been calling since October 23rd, 2017, the biggest political scandal in the history of this country. Every day I'm more vindicated on that statement. That is exactly what this is. The evidence was already made public. Now more evidence is being made public that's making even people in the media have to take notice to it. Of course, most of them are just propaganda shills that are deflecting for it, but nonetheless. So I'll make that case again in my live stream directly following this roadside ramble. But what I wanted to talk about with this ramble was the idea that this coup continues. Why I've been saying for months before this COVID thing, when people would ask me my biggest issue, I told you why I voted for Trump, because I thought as an outsider that he threatened the corrupt people from both parties that were running the system. I think it's worse with the Democratic Party, but you have your Mitt Romneys, your John McCain's, your Paul Ryans, etc. on the Republican side of the ledger as well. And they wanted Hillary Clinton more than Trump, these never Trump Republicans. So that's what it was about. It was about the corruption, and that corruption is systemic throughout our entire federal political system. It matriculates down to your state level and then less so at the local level. But it's there. And if there are unelected officials, like Chuck Schumer told us when Trump got elected, that Trump couldn't criticize what the intel agencies want done, or that they would find 6 ways from Sunday of getting back at him, that is a statement that should shock every single American, regardless of what you think about Trump. That is being told that the most powerful elected leader in the world has to cower down to unelected bureaucrats because they are the people with real power. That's what that statement means. And what are the kind of things that we know that these unelected bureaucrats are interested in? They're interested in spending your money to the tune of billions overseas to prop up dictators, or to set up these shells games where they give money to Ukraine and then the people that are connected to them end up getting hired by the Ukraine and end up getting millions of dollars. Or they're interested in these regime change wars, or they're interested in silencing normal Americans or anyone who wants to criticize this, or they're interested in bailing out banker buddies that have been corrupt. That's what they're interested in. They pretend that there's this difference when it comes to policy, but there really isn't. Like, yeah, they'll talk about gay rights. They'll talk about abortion. They don't care about that stuff. That stuff's not how they get their power. When it comes to the big issues, the regime change wars, the bailing out bankers, the massive deficit that we continue to see spent under both parties, they all agree on that, don't they? And so until, I don't care, and I've said this on the show a million times, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or Green Party or Constitutionalist, your issue doesn't matter. Whatever your issue is your issue climate change? Is that your big issue? Is your issue Second Amendment rights? It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat issue or a Republican issue. It doesn't matter. It does matter. I have plenty of issues that really do matter in reality. But when I say it doesn't matter, what I mean is it doesn't matter if you and a bunch of people vote for that issue if your vote doesn't matter. And if unelected bureaucrats and intel officials are really running the government, then it doesn't matter how you vote. Your side winning means nothing, because your side can't accomplish anything that goes against the agenda of the intel agencies, of the bureaucrats that run things. Chuck Schumer admitted that. We know that's the case. And so that's why I've been focused so long on my channel for about 2 years now about this corruption aspect, since 2017. And I had people tell me, oh, I'm tired of hearing about this story and, things like that. I think I've done a pretty good job. It's beautiful here today, whoever wrote that. Everyone has their own cup of tea, but I recommend going back and watching a lot of what I did, a lot of what other people were doing, where I outlined in each specific case why there was this corruption that was going on that we can see against Trump, or people associated with him. And I'm going to try to hit an overview of some of those high points in my video today, my live stream, which again is coming up as soon as this roadside ramble is done. Now, how does this apply to what we're seeing today? Because now, and I do think this was a huge mistake that Trump and company made, they knew they were sitting it when we get closer to the election. That way it helps them in the election. I think that was a mistake. I would like to see justice carried out. I don't want to see it used as a tool to help someone win an election. But whatever. So one of the problems with that strategy in the backfire was they didn't anticipate something like COVID coming along. And then to further complicate it, Trump believed the hype that was being pushed by the Democrats and the media and by deep staters like Fauci, is that it? Yeah. And so he went along suggesting, Sweden was wrong to lock down, Georgia's wrong to lift their lockdown, etc. And so he's playing right into the Democrats' hands. But the theme that goes through this is as follows. Those corrupt people are still running the show. They're still running it today. Sorry, camera failed a little bit. That's how we're in this predicament with COVID. Because unelected people like Fauci, the Democrats, a bunch of corporatists like Bill Gates that control our government, they want this lockdown. They want to see the destruction of the middle class in the United States. They want massive wealth redistribution. They want massive expenditures on the government sheets. They want to massively increase the size of government. And they're getting all of that. Why? It's because this corruption has been allowed to continue for so long. Now I get it. There are people that say, but it takes a long time to end this corruption, so they're not going to fault Trump or Sessions or Barr. Maybe that's true, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is because that corruption has gone on unimpeded, it's literally what's controlling our reaction right now. And I sympathize with Trump. The amount of corruption that was around him, even people he picked for his team, were incredibly corrupt and in on this. That's very difficult. I get that. I'm a Trump supporter. I've argued in his defense. He surrounded himself with people like John Bolton. Huge mistake. Michael Cohen. Huge mistake. A lot of these people he's put around him had no interest. We just saw Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy was touted as he was this big, for the righteous, for the people seeking to end corruption. Trey Gowdy was the man. I even fell for it. I'm not saying I'm above it. Now we know while Trey Gowdy was shilling in 2018 saying Christopher Wray and Rod Rosenstein did nothing wrong. The FBI did exactly what Americans would want them to be doing. Now he comes out and goes, I can't believe how corrupt the FBI was. Hey Gowdy, you had access to all this information. How did some fat guy like me that doesn't get to see the classified information come to the right conclusion while someone like you that's supposed to be a pit bull and interested in doing what's right and had access to this information, all of a sudden you came to the wrong conclusion? Whoopsie. So you can hardly blame, I fell for Gowdy's nonsense, so you can hardly blame Trump for falling for people's nonsense. But this is why it's more important than ever that we rise up and we start to let Trump know and let the Republicans know we will not accept the violation of our rights and the collapse of our economy based on this fear-mongering from this disease and the models that I've proven to be incorrect and others have proven to be incorrect. And based on people like Dr. Fauci that told us in January the disease is nothing to worry about, that told us in March, don't worry about wearing masks, it's nonsense, and now says we have to. They've been wrong over and over. This is a power grab. People right now in my state of Pennsylvania, because of these lockdown policies, 68% of those that have died have been in nursing homes because the Department of Health in Pennsylvania basically made them death factories where they told people in nursing homes, you can't send infected COVID patients to the hospital because they are worried their hospitals would be overran. So as a result, they forced them to stay in these nursing homes where predictably the disease spread throughout the rest of the nursing home, thereby entrenching the most vulnerable population, the elderly and those with comorbidities. They set them in facilities they knew were most likely to get COVID as opposed to least. That's what these policies did. Why? Because it wasn't ran by people with the best interest. It was ran by corrupt, know-it-all people with their own interest at heart. These same people that set up these nursing homes to be death traps for the elderly, they're the same people that told people like me and you when we said, look, we think that we need answers before we have this lockdown, intentionally collapsing the economy and taking away our rights. Before we do that, we need to have definitive proof that that's the answer. And what were we told? Oh, so you want old people to die? You care more about old people, or you care more about your full 401k than old people die? And now we have construction here. We'll see. That justified the policies. Oh, it's probably not the wind. It's my air conditioner. Sorry about that. Don't worry. I'll be going live in my home studio, and I'll rehash this. If those 8 of you watching, yeah, I'd really appreciate it. Share it out. It'll be about 15 minutes, 2:30. I'll be going live. So I'm almost home here. But that's the point. Why was it allowed to get so bad? It's because those corrupt people that were doing things like lying to us about the Russia collusion stuff, lying to us when it came to spying on a presidential campaign, lying to us when it came to the impeachment crap. They lied to us about the Iraq war. They lied to us about Libya. They lied to us about needing to bail out the bankers in 2009. Always, always, always lying for their own benefit. Those same people are still in charge right now. Right now they are. Hopefully Trump and company, there seems to be some optimism for people now that this stuff's being declassified. Oh, maybe Brennan will be held accountable. Maybe some of these people will be held accountable. Maybe not. We'll see what it happens. I'll tell you this, I'm very skeptical that the person who's at the top of all of it, Barack Obama, will ever be held to justice. Heck, we see Lindsey Graham saying there's no need to interview Obama. Good job, Lindsey. And I'm saying it's hard to blame Trump because he's got all of this dead weight or corrupt people around him. But he appointed those people and he listened to those people. And that's why I blame Trump also during this COVID thing. He's the one listening to Dr. Fauci. He's the one listening to the fear-mongering. He's the one criticizing places like Sweden that didn't lock down. Are the Democrats 10 times worse? Yes. But that's what I'm saying. Trump's falling into their trap. Just bomb Syria. Trump's gut feeling during the debates was, why are we fighting Syria? Shouldn't we be working with them to fight ISIS and Al-Qaeda? Yes, that's the right answer, Trump. But then he was misled by a bunch of war hawks of these deep state people in his administration that told him, oh yeah, you got to bomb Syria. Assad, for no reason, once he finally won this conflict, decided to gas his own people, so now we have to bomb them. That was a mistake. And what I see happening is, watch Tucker's show last night where he talks about what's in this Democratic proposal. It's more Green New Deal crap. That's what it is. And they're going to get a lot of it. They're going to get a lot of mail-in ballot stuff. They're going to get a lot of ridiculous spending that goes to a bunch of left-wing organizations. They're going to get a lot of money that goes to illegal immigrants. They're proposing amnesty in that bill. Temporary amnesty for illegal immigrants during COVID, which, as we know, once you give amnesty, just look at DACA, right? Once you say, well, you temporarily have amnesty, then the next argument would be, it would be inhumane to bring that amnesty back. These people build a life here under the auspices that we said they could be here. And so now to say they don't have amnesty, that would be inhumane. How is all this stuff allowed to come to fruition? How have we spent $9 trillion and counting, $6 trillion in Fed creation of money, and $7 trillion in the bailout bill, the first one, in addition to billions else that we've been spending piecemeal? Now we're proposing another $3 trillion. We're going to be over $10 trillion. We were just told that we couldn't afford Bernie's plan, $1.5 trillion to bail out student loans, which I agree, we couldn't afford that. But the same people saying that have now pushed $10 trillion plus to fight COVID. And for what? Yeah, right. Good point, SJG. That's just one little plank of their plan. Give people $2,000 a month for the next 6 months. I mean, it's insanity. And why? The only point I'm trying to make in this video is, why has it been able to occur? It's because we allowed this corruption to fester. The corruption should have been dealt with by now. The evidence has been out there. Once you start throwing people in jail that committed sedition and treason, once you start saying, we're not going to play these games anymore, then these people wouldn't be so bold as to blatantly be corrupt and screw over normal Americans. But as long as they're allowed to act with impunity, they're going to continue to do so. Americans, that big group that I tell you in the middle all the time, that's what it's about. You got the corrupt establishment, and then you got us that are fighting that. The corrupt wins if they keep the masses ignorant. We win if we show the masses the truth. That's how you know, by the way, who's good and who's not in this. We just want people to know the truth. They want to hide the truth from people. They're the ones saying, oh, you have to censor this. We can't have free speech. That's hate speech. Oh, we need Twitter and Facebook and YouTube to take off certain facts about coronavirus because it's not correct. We can only listen to the CDC and the World Health Organization, even though we could prove that they've been wrong literally on a month-by-month schedule. I mean, both of them said that we shouldn't wear masks, and now they're saying we have to legally wear masks. But we have to take their word at face value. Anything else, they say we have to censor that. You side that's saying, no, we're for open debate and open speech, they're the side that's on the side of good. The side that's saying, no, our ideas can only stand if we censor the other side. Those are the people that are on the side of bad. By the way, that's the leftists you see on college campuses. That's the leftists you see in Silicon Valley, the leftists you see in the entertainment industry, the leftists you see in the mainstream media. One of the threads that goes through all of them is they have to censor their opposition. And so we need to be able to wake those people up by telling them the truth. Those people would have woken up far earlier if actually these criminals would have been handcuffed when we had proof, if these documents would have been declassified earlier. It would have stopped the Democrats from making this narrative. And that's the last thing I'll say. I know I harp on this a lot. I expect the Democrats to be corrupt. Is that cynical of me? Of course. I don't mean every Democrat. I don't mean my friend down the street that's a Democrat. I mean the people that are leading the party. Pelosi, Schumer, AOC, that crowd. They're going to be corrupt. They want massive government. They want massive wealth redistribution. They want to shut down the rights of normal Americans. I get that. That's what we're fighting against. But when Republicans constantly give in to everything they want, what good is it? I mean, I'm hearing all this good news, and it is good news. This district in California that Katie Hill used to represent went to a Republican, it seems like. That's a big deal. Hillary won that district by 11. So that seems like a big deal. But what good is it if, in order for Republicans to win, they have to be for taking away our rights and spending trillions of dollars in the federal budget and giving a lot of money to Harvard and to, fine arts centers and this and that and this and that and this and that, giving access to mail-in voting and all this stuff. So what, Republicans win in name only, but the Democrats get every policy? Can you name me anything that's occurred as a result of this COVID experiment that the Democrats didn't want? Of course they wanted more, and they're going to keep fighting for more. But the lockdown, yep, Democrats wanted that. The bankrupting of middle America and the reliance on the government, yep, that's what the globalists want. The taking away free speech rights and the rights to criticize the government, yep, that's what the government or the Democrats want. Is there anything in these policies that the Democrats didn't want? Why are the Republicans constantly giving in? And a lot of people tell me, oh, are you secretly a Democrat? Why are you criticizing the Republicans so much? Because I don't want to win the election, but lose the battle, lose the war. Because Republicans just become a party of massive spending, listening to the same deep state, listening to the taking away of our rights because it's just a piece of paper. That's no good to me. That's no good to the country. So that's where my criticism comes from. People saying, oh, you secretly have always hated Trump and you wished him to fail. No, that's not true. I'm still saying Trump could do the right thing. But instead, he's out there criticizing the governor of Georgia for opening up. He's criticizing Sweden for not locking down. Instead of celebrating, oh, this might help Trump win the election. Oh, did you see a Republican won in California? So what? It's still locked down. I want the corrupt to go to jail. I want the lockdown to end. Those are the two most important things right now to Americans of all stripes, whether you're right wing, left wing, I don't care. I'm not just saying it for selfish reasons. Democrat or Republican, the two most important things right now are the corruption ending and the lockdown ending and restoring people their rights. If the Republicans win, but they have to still take away your rights and they're not going to arrest the corrupt, then what good is it? Maybe they will give our rights back. By the way, isn't that an interesting statement? It's not really your rights if you require someone to give them back, huh? But, all right, I'll be doing a live stream in about 10, 15 minutes. Got to get my computer set up and stuff. So we'll talk about this stuff and more. It should have better audio quality. So thanks so much, everyone. Really appreciate it. And stick around. I'll be back in about 15 minutes.